Yeah, and on the verge of another Champions League quarter final. I mean, are we looking at another seventh European Cup? I mean, they're looking like they're good for it.
Yeah, I mean, I said right at the outset that this is English clubs' year again this year. I think we're so dominant at the moment. I'd probably even narrow it down further now. I think, Manchester City, Liverpool. You could say a squeak for Chelsea. But I think Man City and Liverpool, personally, I think it's between them. I mean, I was astonished the other day to see Bayern Munich were ahead of Liverpool in the bet, and I just can't see that at all. I can't even see, to be honest, how Man City are half the price of Liverpool. I literally think it's a toss-up. But anyway, yeah, Liverpool have got a right chance of winning it again.
And as you said there, the greatest threat is being posed by English clubs again. It's so the dominance they've shown in Europe. Let's say 2 finalists last year. They're really showing themselves as sort of the European superpowers, aren't they? The Premier League clubs.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, Liverpool. Well, I think English football has been dominant for a few years now, but I think it's actually getting more and more so. If you look at the leagues in Europe at the minute, I mean, we took the best player out of the Italian league and Lukaku, or the highest scorer. We took the best player out the 2 best players out the Italian league, I should say, Ronaldo and Lukaku. We took the best player from Spain has gone to France, and France is, I don't think is the strong. So I just think all the best players are gradually coming over here. And I just think that England, if anything, and not only the players, I think the managers as well. We've just got some outstanding top class managers nowadays. So I think we're getting stronger and stronger, but we all seen the waves, the cycles it's gone in the future. When I was growing up, it was the Italian league, and then it went to the Spanish league, and now it's the English league. I mean, it can change, but at the minute, English football is certainly the strongest.
Yeah, and after Liverpool's League Cup win on Sunday, the quadruple is still on. How do you rate the chances that Jurgen seems to want to just not dismiss it, but not talk about it? But what do you think their chances are of doing that unprecedented quadruple?
Well, inevitably, Jurgen Klopp wants to dismiss it, and I would probably not be thinking along those lines just yet. I mean, don't get me wrong. As a player, as a manager, you're always thinking of everything. You're looking at the future and trying not to get ahead of yourself. I still think it's something that's great to debate in a pub with your mates. But if I was a Liverpool player at the minute, I wouldn't be sort of getting excited about it. I think there's still, I mean, it's not like Liverpool are in the Champions League and FA Cup final and ahead in the league. I mean, the league's going to be one hell of an effort to overturn that, even though they're back in the race. I mean, Champions League is so bloody competitive, and even FA Cup. I mean, that's not easy either.
Yeah.
If they're still in everything, in 3-4 weeks' time, and they're still, not far off City, then maybe. But I personally, I'm not. Put it this way: if they go out the FA Cup, in a couple of weeks or whatever the next round is, I won't be thinking, "Oh, there's a quadruple gone." It's still not in my mind as, oh my word, this could be on. It's just like a fanciful bit of chat at the minute. In 3 or 4 weeks, then it might be something that you're saying, hang on a minute, this is very real, but not for me just yet.
You obviously won a treble back in 2001. I mean, can you remember back that time and what the dressing room was like and how players thought about it then?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that winning the Carabao Cup is just a brilliant thing. I think people underestimate what it does for the club, and I think it's it does for any club, and I think it's so important that a manager should really play teams that are going to win, are going to get through. And I know that sounds stupid because everyone will back their team, but the likes of Chelsea and Manchester City and Man United and Liverpool, for that matter, against any other team, really, you can pick or choose your team to be pretty sure whether you got a very good chance or not. And I think when you see what it does to a club, I mean, everyone's saying, "Oh, it's only the League Cup, it's only the League Cup, it's only the League Cup," and then you get to the final, and you think, "Oh my, this is massive." I mean, it's absolutely massive. It's they're the days that you remember for the rest of your life. Sod qualifying for the Champions League in 4th place and things like that. I mean, I did that a few times. I'm sure I did, but I don't remember the day. Now I'm sat here now doing the interview. I don't remember the day that we qualified for the Champions League, coming 4th. I remember all the League Cups I won. I remember the FA Cup. I remember all the trophies that we won. They're the moments that the fans love, that the players love. It's just so important to get trophies in the bank because, as I say, there are cycles in life. Liverpool have got the most phenomenal team and have done for a few years. It's about collecting trophies now, and any trophy that's available, you want to you want to be lifting them above your head. And Jurgen Klopp's obviously doing an incredible job with that. And getting that first trophy, getting that Carabao Cup is a nice one to have in your back pocket before the even more serious stuff starts.
Yeah. And with the great respect to your 2001 team, people are talking about this squad as being, the generational, squad, probably one of the strongest Liverpool team or the strongest Liverpool squad since maybe the mid 80s. How would you assess where they are now compared to maybe, a couple of years ago with the Champions League, when they won the Champions League or when they won the Premier League? I
don't really. I mean, we're talking, we're splitting hairs now. We're talking, are Liverpool better now than they were a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago? It really is splitting hairs. We're talking about one of the greatest teams that our generation have ever watched. I mean, Man City and Liverpool at the minute are taking football to a whole new level. And I know it's hard to compare generations, but, are Liverpool better now than they were 2 years? It's possibly, but as I say, it's splitting hairs. What we do know is that these last few years have just been the most incredible. It's like fans are almost, it doesn't get any better than this, and how long it's going to last, who knows? That's the challenge now, but it simply does not get better than the team that Liverpool have had in the last few years and have got now. It's a question of how long it can last and how many trophies that they can scoop up in the meantime. But this is almost a once, maybe a twice in a lifetime type of situation where your team is at the top of the league for a sustained period of time. And okay, there's a battle between another team, but, Liverpool fans have had it lucky. Those people that lived in the 70s stroke 80s and then are still living now, they've had 2 dollops of it. But someone that's 40 years of age or, that can't really remember, about 40 years of age, this is like, this is it. This is it. And then in a cycle in another 5 years and Jurgen may leave or whatever, there might not be another cycle like this until they're 80 or 70 or 60. You just don't know. So, embrace this because we are splitting hairs saying, are they better than, a year ago? This is I just see it as an era where they are just the most incredible team. And if it's not Liverpool, it's Man City. They're probably the best team I've ever seen.
Yeah, you're right there. It is the Klopp era. I'm just wondering how much you think Liverpool's success is linked with Klopp and his future.
I think they are pretty intrinsically linked. I must admit. I think Klopp is a genius in terms of the way people think of. Listen, he doesn't change his tactics much. He doesn't, it's not like one week he goes and plays and, with a 3-5-2 and then he goes with a different. He pretty much does the same thing week in, week out. I think, if you're talking about tactical geniuses, then I think probably Pep Guardiola has the edge. But if you're talking about everything else, that humane side of him, that person that can almost inspire a city, not just a city, inspire a whole billions of fans around the world that follow Liverpool, that gets it, that's approachable, that has got, wears his heart on his sleeve. He's just absolutely everything that you want in a manager. And I think when you look at signings that come in, and you look at signings that come in at Liverpool, and you look at signings that come in at other teams, maybe that are struggling, that's not necessarily just genius purchases. That's just coming into an environment where it's bloody hard to fail. I mean, I think, I think my youngest daughter could probably go into that Liverpool team and look at world-class players. I mean, it's impossible not to strike when it's possible not to make a decent signing look brilliant or whatever at the minute in the Liverpool side. And then, like, on the flip side, in years to come, hopefully not, but it will happen. And at other clubs at the minute, you can see the billions being spent on what are unbelievable players everywhere else, and then they just turn into average players. All of a sudden, they put in so it just shows you that it's not all sort of, oh yeah, they've got the best recruitment, they've got the best scouts, it's the environment at the moment coming into that stadium, the feeling amongst the crowd towards their players, the feeling amongst the players to each other, the manager, that whole family feel that they've got at the minute. It almost just has that total knock-on effect that no matter what happens at the minute, it just works. And that is a very, very, very special thing, and virtually an impossible thing to get and to grasp, because Liverpool don't spend the millions and millions that Manchester City spend, yet they still can compete with them, because I think they've just got that something special about the people, and that's not just the fans, but that's people within the club as well.
Yeah, just finally for me now, make it quick. How hard did the club have to work to try and persuade Klopp to stay on a bit longer than his contract at the moment? He's got a couple of years left, I think.
Yeah, well, Mo Salah, Jurgen Klopp, there will all be evolving, players and manager and staff and everything else. That will never ever change, will it? And God only knows how much energy he's got left, whether he can continue and this doesn't take anything out of him, because he's got a life outside football and things like that. I mean, I don't suppose he has, because it's so all encompassing what he's doing. But he knows himself as well, doesn't he, that this is going to go down in history as just the most glorious period of time. Why wouldn't you want as much as you can, not without overstaying your welcome or without the team sort of then playing poorly, but while they're on top? I mean, surely he built most of this. Surely he'll want the reward, not the financial, but the gratification of seeing what he's building come to fruition, because he deserves it. So hopefully he stays a lot longer. Definitely. I mean, it's essential for the club to obviously keep him as long as he can while he's at this level.